My mother's knife scraped against her plate, sharp and slow. The kind of sound that carves itself into silence. Then she placed her hand on the will, eyes locked on mine. You won't get a single cent. Her tone didn't shake. She wanted it to hurt. I looked at her for a long moment, then smiled. Small, polite, surgical. All right, I said softly. Then expect a single cent from me either. I set my fork and knife down, each click deliberate. Then I stood up and left. No shouting, no scene, just an ending disguised as dinner. She wasn't always like that. There was a time she used to hold my hand crossing this street. Used to tell me I was the smart own, the one she believed in. But belief fades fast when money's involved. After me father died, she changed. Grief didn't hollow her, it sharpened her. Cher married within a year. A real estate broker with a plastic smile and a son who called her mom within weeks. I was 28. Old enough to understand that when people talk about family, they really mean assets. When she handed me a revised will to review before signing, he noticed the change. My inheritance is lashed to nothing. Everything to her new husband and his son. Her reasoning, you're independent. You don't need it. But independence doesn't excuse betrayal. That night I said nothing. I just watched her pour herself a drink, laughing with her husband about some property deal as if my father's name never existed. I smiled too, because that was the moment I started planning. You learn a lot about people when they think they've won. She grew careless, trusted me again, thinking my silence was surrender. I started small, visiting the house more often, offering to help with bills, the estate, her lawyer meetings. I wasn't angry anymore, just curious. I learned her passwords, her spending habits, her new husband's debts. Turns out their little empire was built on borrowed money and arrogance. While she flaunted luxury, I started pulling threads quietly, methodically. First, I convinced her lawyer to send all estate-related documents through me to help Mom keep things organized. Then I moved funds. Nothing obvious, just small clerical errors that redirected maintenance fees, tax payments, insurance renewals. By the time she noticed, her accounts were bleeding slowly, invisibly. She thought it was the bank's fault, the lawyer's mistake. She blamed everyone except herself. 3 weeks after that dinner, I got the call. A car crash, her husband, drunk, late at night. The insurance wouldn't cover it. The policy had lapsed. She didn't know I'd rerouted the payment reminder to my own email and deleted it. The house mortgaged in his name fell into foreclosure. The brokerage he ran insolvent within a month. I visited her then. She looked smaller, hollow, sitting in the same dining chair where she'd once looked me in the eye and declared me unworthy. Her hand trembled when she poured tea. Everything's gone, she whispered. I nodded slowly. I know. She looked at me like she wanted to ask for help but couldn't find the words. Pride always dies last. You could stay with me, I said gently. Just for a while. She hesitated, then nodded. Desperation makes anyone humble. For 3 months, she lived in my apartment, watched me go to work, watched me build the life she swore I didn't deserve. Every night she tried to talk about the past, about my father, about regrets. I listened but never forgave. She never suspected that every bill she signed under my roof, phone, utilities, groceries, was registered under her name. Every cost, every charge stacking up quietly. When she finally moved out into a smaller place, humiliated and broken, I handed her a folder. Her signature on every page, every debt, every line traceable. She stared at it like it was a foreign language. What is this? I looked at her the way she had once looked at me. You won't get a single cent, I said softly. But you'll pay for everyone. Last week she called. The bank froze her account. Her lawyer stopped returning her calls. She asked me if Ike knew anyone who could help. I told her I'd think about it. Then I hung up. I still remember that dinner table, the cold silver, her hand on the wheel, her voice cutting through me. Funny how moments like that echo through time. I don't hate her anymore. I just don't feel anything at all. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it eats quietly with perfect manners.